Good evening, everybody. I'm joining TOTL's training week again. This is my second training I've done, and this one I'm a little more nervous about sharing with you guys. I tend to get a little nervous when talking, so I guess that's a good thing because they say if you're nervous, it's a plus. So what I'm here to help share with all of you guys is how to grow your business while having a full-time job. First of all, it's always a plus to grow anything. I'm Pamela Piche. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. I've been married for about 17 years, and I've been a director since I think it was July of 2020, joined Tupperware in February of 2020. So I jumped down the road very fast, and that's just me. I tend to do things with both feet and don't look back. So it's not for everybody. That's just me. I'm married, and we will be married for 17 years come this July. And my husband supports everything I do 100%. And so that's a plus because I have great support. And we don't have any kids, and we love to spend time with friends, family, ourselves, just chilling at the house. We enjoy camping, and I play softball in the spring and summer. I work in an office 3 days a week and have been for about a year and a half bit since COVID. When COVID hit, our office was going to do some cutbacks, and I went to my boss and said, I can do 3 days a week as long as I can keep my job. So that's what I've been doing. In the evenings and on weekends, I am a part-time hairstylist, and I run a little, I do the hair out of my house. And so that fills up the rest of my time, as well as all the Tupperware that I do as well. Some of the questions that we always typically have when running a business, whether it's Tupperware or anything else, is how do you find the time to do everything? So the number one thing is I don't give up. I find a way around it. So I'm going to go through some pinpoints here, 5 points, and hopefully you guys will get a little bit more understanding on how I do it for what works for my schedule, and it will help you plan out what you're able to do with your life. And I know sometimes kids add the extra little spin on things, but that's a good spin. So number one, don't give up at any time when you do anything. It's always good to have the next step planned out. The best thing to do is just start. We have in TOTL tons and tons and tons of tools for helping us with everything that we want to do. So that's my number one tip, is use the tools that are there. If you can't find them, please ask. If you don't ask, we can't help. Number two is your Frank's list. That's always a, I guess you could say, a fallback to go to if you're having issues with not knowing who to ask. The Frank's list was created for us to know who to ask. Always ask your upline, as I indicated. If they don't know, they can't help. If you're not getting the results you're wanting, or you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, step back. Don't give up, just take a step back. Look at what you're doing and try to ask yourself why, and then replan and change if you can. So a couple examples is I've asked for help for changing wording with prizing, parties, all the stuff that we have accessible to us. Everybody's point of view is different from somebody else. So if one thing isn't working, ask for some help and they'll send you some different wording, and it's possible that that will sail. I mix and match the copy and paste posts into my VIP group as well as the parties that I do. The copy and paste events are there for us to use, and everybody who puts their hard work into it, it's all amazing. As for a director or anybody who's offering challenges to your team, if you're not getting the results that you were thinking, you need to reassess what you're offering. Myself, I personally think I was expecting a lot, so I've lowered my expectations, lowered the number of types of challenges that I've offered to my team, and changed it, and now I'm getting better results. We all know things in life happen, whether it's your scheduling, your health, family, friends, etc. Sometimes we have no control over it, so you just have to step back and have a look and don't give up. Number 2, everything can be very overwhelming, especially when we have a big group like TOTL. You have your chat groups with your directors or your team members. You have challenge posts, you have challenge chats, you have different types of social media is huge, and it can be very, very overwhelming, not just with Tupperware, but in general. So when I stepped up to manager, I stepped up within my first 3 months. It was very fast, and I did get overwhelmed. I had to step back and go, what just happened? And am I ready? When I stepped back, I made a list of 2 or 3 things that I could concentrate more on until I got the hang of it. And then once I was able to get the hang of one or two of those things, it kind of became second nature. So then I was able to add 1 or 2 more things to that list until I was able to get it down pat. Now, a good way to start with that is just by parties. Doing one thing at a time with the parties and sending out messages to your host so they can invite people to the parties so that you have a specific number of people in your parties is a good place to start. As well as our copy and paste events for our parties that are easy to use, whether it be through SynthShare or Facebook. Conversations with the hosts are an absolute must. If you don't have that connection, you're not going to be able to make the party great for your host, which also benefits you as well. We want to try to make everything possible to earn for our host and make it easy for them. I reached out of my inner circle, probably within the first couple parties, and I started booking people I didn't really know from previous parties. And that was easier for me to do because then I was able to come back to my circle of friends when I didn't have any parties to book and say, come on, help me out. I need your help. Have a party. I know you got lots of friends. I know you got lots of things you want because you see it from me and you're like, that looks cool. I have added a couple lives into my VIP group. So that's a step up for myself. That was my next goal on what to achieve. It still is a work in process for me. I'm not the best with doing lives when it comes to demos. And as previous, send a message to your upline and asking for help if you need it with wording or any kind of advice that they can offer. That leads into always having someone that you can talk to for help or suggestions. It doesn't have to be someone on your team or your upline. We all have friends or family members that do something similar or can offer advice in just to help you with sorting life out. Number 3, schedule life and parties. I have a day timer for my husband and our life, as well as my hair clients. And then I have a day timer for Tupperware and my team. That works for me. I'm a very big pen and paper type person, and I have found that it works the best. Everything that gets put into my day timers also is available to myself with the phone that I use, and I put it into a calendar on my phone so that everything pops up as a reminder so I don't forget, and it helps keep my life scheduled and organized. Whether you're a discount shopper or a regular person that wants to party to grow, or you're just the odd person that shops for yourself, sharing everything and anything all the time with everybody helps you grow. That's number 1. If you don't share, you don't ask, you don't know. When we have people that join our teams, whether they want to party, you don't know unless you ask. And then if you offer them a thank you or a welcome party, you word it depending on how you think they're going to want to join. Most of the time I use thank you parties as a way to get my new team members to party. It's less overwhelming when you say, I want to have this party and thanking you to join my team so you can earn your free Tupperware as well as any other extra host rewards. By showing them how to do the parties, builds confidence for them to realize that it's not that hard, as well as it could spark a little fire to get them to start partying more. Myself, I try to have 3 to 4 parties a week. My parties usually run from Thursday through Tuesday, and I schedule my posts 8 to 9 p.m. using SynShare. Some people have it, some people don't. It is the best thing out there for scheduling. You can use it in every other situation besides Tupperware for social medias. The next biggest, I guess, part of social scheduling my life is having a space to work in. Not everybody has specific areas in their houses where you can just put stuff in one area, but having a specific spot, even if it's for a couple hours, helps you keep things organized, as well as helps you schedule your time between life and Tupperware. And I keep saying life and Tupperware because to me, that's 2 separate things. Everything else in my life is part of my life category, and Tupperware is Tupperware, even though Tupperware is still part of my life. I used to, for the probably first year and a bit, I used to take, I have a laptop that I work off of most of the time, and I used to take it with me through the whole house. If we were watching movies, I would take it and I would sit there and putter through posts and parties and messages, etc., while we're watching movies. Then I realized that I was getting overwhelmed by not having a separation. So then I decided to step back, analyze, and come up with a better plan. So now I have limited my time in the evenings and weekends to specific hours that work from my schedule so that I'm not being Tupperware. Because when you have support, whether it's from family, kids, husband, wife, girlfriends, boyfriends, etc. You have to have that separation to spend time with them. It also gives you a break to unwind. Sometimes we get so overworked mind-wise that we need time to mellow. And stepping away from electronics in general is a great way to do that. As we say, we need to stop and smell the roses, as life will be better. And we can't control everything all the time. So as things happen, you have to roll with it. My last word of advice is to have support. Support comes in all sorts of different ways. For me, it's support from my friends and family and my husband. It can come from your coworkers, and I've heard some amazing stories that kids are very great support tools as well, because we can use, well, not necessarily use our kids, but we use our kids for helping us with demoing, sales pitching, so to speak, and just there to lift our spirits. Support from your team members is a great bonus as well, as long as you can give that support back to them. You have to get what you give. If you can't do that, it's very hard to be a human. That also goes back to the whole aspect. If you don't ask, nobody knows. That's like a huge life lesson, not just with Tupperware, but with life. If you don't ask, you don't know. Spending time with the people that mean the most to you will help you benefit from them. And it will help your journey run smoother. Now, I have listed a whole bunch of different ways that work for myself. I hope that I have helped you try to plan out and schedule some of the things better to pinpoint specific areas that you could schedule for life or Tupperware and make things run smoother. As we all know, if things run smooth, there's no bumps, and that makes everything a lot more fun. The absolute best advice I can give about the whole running a business is you have to try. You have to start. If you don't, you never know if it's going to work. If it doesn't work, step back, look at it, and change something. Not everything, but something. But never give up. Thank you guys all for listening and hopefully joining me. And looking forward to the comments and the replays. And I hope you guys all have a great 2022. And as we all hear all the time, we are better together in TOTL. Thank you guys.